Because even as a Reiki master, your students are also your teachers. I've incorporated it into the facials because everyone can benefit from it, and everyone can benefit from being reminded that they are their own healer.
Hey friends, welcome to Keep It Simple Sexy. I'm Christine Bullock, founder of KO Body Care, certified fitness trainer and mom of 2 little girls who's just trying to juggle it all and feel as good as possible. I'm so grateful that you're here. Now let's get started, sexy. Hello, everyone. Well, I don't know about you, but I really appreciate a good multitasking beauty treatment. And what if I told you our next guest takes it to a whole new level? She can clear your skin and clear your mind by including energy healing into her signature facials. You can imagine how vital this may be to add to your beauty routine with the increasing amounts of stress in our world and the effects that stress not only have on our beauty, but our overall health. Thank you for tuning in to Keep It Simple Sexy. I'm your host, Christine Bullock, and today we have Nousha Salimi to teach us what all the buzz is over her healing Reiki facial. I first found her while pregnant, and after her energy work, I found myself 1000% refreshed, revived, and dare I say, prettier in a little over an hour. Nousha is a nurse, a Reiki master, a songwriter, and one of the most sought-after facial rejuvenation artists in the country, with beauties like Miranda, Kerr, and Sofia, Richie on her roster. Welcome to the show, beautiful friend.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for that kind introduction. I so missed that time when you came to visit me, and it was such a special time. The first time I met you, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a sister immediately.
I know. We absolutely, what is it? Sisters from another mother.
Yep, it was from
But like
another
soul
life.
sisters. Yeah.
Totally.
Nousha's a mama of 2 little adorable children as well. How are they doing?
Oh my gosh, they're so cute. My daughter Rumi is now 5 years old, and my son is 2.5, and he is a handful. Never knew how insane it would be to have 2 children, but here we are. Here we
I
are with
feel
2.
you. Popping out my second as well, and we somehow lived through COVID with 2 littles. It was actually nice. What was your take on just being home? And obviously work changed a lot, but we had like babies at home, you
You know,
know?
I think for moms, especially trying to juggle work and having almost dualities in motherhood of wanting to be the best mom you can and wanting to work, it's a fine line of finding that balance. And for me, COVID, I felt was actually really nice because I could be with my kids, and then everyone was doing everything through Zoom. So it was like I was doing these Zoom Instagram lives doing facial stuff. And for me, it was great because it was an easy way to help sell the oils. So
Mhm.
things were still happening, movement was happening, and then I was able to still balance and be with my kids, although it was a very interesting time. We kind of developed a little pod with some friends. So my older daughter didn't have to do as much as the Zoom schools, which is really nice. But
Mhm.
it's a time that I will never forget. Multitasking, trying to continue keeping a business to thrive, and then having the 2 little kids and having my husband. It's
Yeah.
amazing that we all got through it.
I know. And I agree. It was so nice to spend that special time, and I think we've learned we can run businesses in different ways now with not as much time away from our kids. And so I've really taken that from, a not so great experience, taken some good things from it.
That is the interesting thing, is how much people have discovered, oh, we can actually have successful businesses, but do it from home and figure ways to collaborate with people all through the computer. Although sometimes we're just like, get rid of the phones, get rid of the computers, give me
Yeah.
space. But it's still it's such a beautiful thing that we can still somehow keep it all going.
Yeah. Well, speaking of taking care of your family, you take care of a much broader family if we call all your clients your family. through Reiki. Before we actually even get into what that is for our viewers who have never tried it before, can you tell us how you started in your journey of healing people and wanting to help people?
So I think that my journey through healing started from when I was really young. I always had this calling to want to help people in some way. Even I have pictures of me as a little 3-year-old girl, like putting Q-tips in my grandmother's toes that were all diabetic and weird looking. I'm like, Mom, why did you take pictures of that? That's just weird. Her feet look like decrepit and weird, and I'm
It
sitting
needs
there
to go
trying to
on
like,
your bio page of your
right.
website.
So I mean, I definitely was attracted to wanting to help people from a really young age. And then I went into nursing, and quite early on, I started volunteering at the New York State Mental Institution when I was 16. And then I became a licensed nurse by the time I was 18, 19, and then went on to get my registered nurse after that. But I continued working in the mental institution from 16 up until I was 22 as a registered nurse. And um, during that time, I found obviously those clients, a lot of them needed medication, but I did find the beauty in doing more meditation work and doing more calming techniques to help bring some of these clients that were having episodes to a place of calm and centering. And at that time, I wasn't calling it Reiki. We just kind of as a team would call it a way to calm the nervous system down through different breathing techniques and things like that. But then later on in life, while I was pregnant, I had met different Reiki healers. I'd been always interested in the natural healing world. Um, I had I had been lucky enough to experience some really profound healing experiences early on because my mom was also interested in that. I had a dear friend who she was a Reiki master. I did private one-on-one sessions with her, initially starting out with my Reiki 1, experiencing that and seeing how to work with the symbols and seeing the ancient wisdom of Reiki and how each person can actually hone in on that energy and work their own light into bringing calm and centering and reducing anxiety, reducing stress through those techniques. And then after practicing that for a year with clients, I went on to learn the Reiki 2 and eventually my Reiki master. And for me, it was one of the most beautiful and insightful experiences because I had that one-on-one experience with my girlfriend who she and I really just had this this beautiful healing together because even as a Reiki master, your students are also your teachers. So
Mhm.
it was just I'm really grateful for it. And so now I've been practicing it for a little over 66 years, and I've incorporated it into the facials because everyone can benefit from it, and everyone can benefit from being reminded that they are their own healer.
And that really is it. I mean, not only, you work for some of the top plastic surgeons, or you have in New York and in Los Angeles as well, but you've really created on top of it this signature facial with amazing products that you use, like Core Organics, the magic of your hands and just your care too. But I think what was so magical about the experience I had, especially while pregnant, you have fears, you have anxiety. We all do, no matter pregnant or not.
Yeah.
And I remember going into the Reiki, which I had probably experienced in other times of my life, like through massage therapy school for me and too, like little bits, but nothing like what I experienced with you, where I actually felt that release emotionally.
Hmm.
And I think there was like, I've been to you a few times, and I think there was one time I cried, one time I doesn't. So for the viewers, it's not like it's necessarily like this has to be this big emotional thing,
Yeah.
but it was whatever I was going through, whatever like rock I was holding in my pit at that point. I just felt like, okay, I'm everything's going to be okay.
Hmm.
And so I think it's such an amazing thing to incorporate into beauty, because stress is the main thing that affects our body internally for disease, all of that is it's a skin on our sign and what we call beauty, on our
Oh yeah.
external and our health. Why did you bring mental health and really just full body health emotional health into beauty, and how do you find that they're connected?
So originally, when I became a Reiki master, I saw the huge correlation between the anti-aging world and our internal world. So, like you said before about how our skin is our, it ages us if we are feeling stressed, if we're feeling any of these things. So, what I found when I was doing meditation from a science-based view that was fascinating was when I was seriously, seriously zen, when I was seriously, seriously in a place of relaxation, I would look in the mirror after, even if it was for 5 minutes, and the lines would look a little bit less on the face. My eyes would feel a little bit brighter. Things around me would feel and look more clear. And I was like, I need to share this with people. And there was, I forget where I even started it, but it kind of came through as a download when I was in meditation that I'm like, I just need to incorporate this into doing facials because I already had known the products that I love, like Coral Organics. And I would incorporate some IS Clinical. I would bring in some of the more clinical base products, and I would use my TCA peels that I had used working in medical offices. And then in that middle bit where I applied a mask, depending on what the person needed, I truly found that my pleasure came through connecting with the person into that state of meditation, whether it's through guiding them through deep meditation. A lot of people are very visual. So when the eyes are closed, I can kind of do a body scan, and that's what gets the body super relaxed. Or if the person just has a practice of their own, those are the ones that's also quite interesting because we can just kind of tap right into getting into that meditative state and connecting into that light and connecting into the healing energies that bring about a softness to the skin and an aliveness to the skin and the things that we're looking for on the anti-aging journey.
I think that's so interesting because I can feel the difference when I'm having a heavy day emotionally or whether I'm having a light day. The same things could be going on around me, but really, whether I've had that morning meditation, I feel ready to cope with these things, or I've had Reiki or something, and you just feel this like lighter sense. And it's so true that even with that, just that, you can wake up like maybe an acupuncture, people can relate this to, or a massage, and your skin is just glowing. It is, it really is that inner, you can see where it's connected to the outer. Can you explain to people what Reiki is, maybe how it's a little different than something, a
Like
healing?
meditation.
Yeah, exactly. Or even acupuncture, anything like that too. Hmm.
Well, I like to call a lot of what I'm doing is Reiki, but I I'm working with energy. So whatever it is, if the person is having like what you said, one time it's crying, one time it's laughing, and you just feel joy. Whatever that person is needing to experience is kind of what I'll pull in through the Reiki energy and or just the energy work in general. So what it is connecting to one's own divine light and one's own divine power. And each and every human out there has that in them. All of us come from light, all of us come from love. And it's just me as the provider helping that person access that and clear away the garbage and the noise that gets in the way from our mind, from the people around us. But generally speaking, when I am going to see someone who's never done Reiki, I'll explain to them, you're going to feel my hands get a little bit warm because I'm connecting into the different symbols that bring about heat into my hands that can transfer into your body. And that heat that's generated and those symbols that we're putting in all come from a place of love and all come from a place of bringing ease into the body. So when people say they've cried on the table, it's because it's giving a little bit of stillness and silence to the mind, but also it allows you to see the things that are getting in the way. And sometimes that can be an emotional experience to see some of the pain, see some of the hurt that we really tuck down, but it's manifesting in different things. Like
Mhm.
some people come in and they have crazy acne before a wedding and nobody understands, like, I never had acne before, now I've got a wedding coming up in 3 months and all of a sudden they've got acne. It's because we're pushing down the stress, all the expectations, all of the desires of how we want something to be. And because our skin is the biggest organ, it's going to come out in that way. It's going to manifest in some other way, whether it's through getting a cold or whether it's through having acne. And so what the Reiki can do is allow that person to have some awareness around like, oh, I'm really stressing about this person coming to my, we'll just say it as the wedding, because we'll just bring that as an example. And my hope, if something like that comes up where it's an emotional response, is to give some tools on how can we address that to clear that energy from you. Whether it's just like mentally being like, okay, I'm clearing their energy from this body that I'm living inside of, or is it a conversation that needs to be had with somebody? And from my mental health training, I always do, like, if the person wants advice, I'm always open to give a little advice on that end. But hopefully that the person can discover it on their own, which is what I love to see happen through the Reiki energy work.
That's amazing. I didn't even realize that that's what's going on. But now I look back and it really is. It's not just the energy part of it, but your whole background and working with behavioral therapy, which is what I studied too, psychology and behavioral therapy, and thought I was going to work with people as well. And I love that you can help to usher people to where they need to be in their journey. It's not like telling them what their answer is to that guest of the wedding or whatever it is, but that you are actually even supporting in that sense through the facial. And really, truly, you can imagine how light you would feel, after that. The Keep It Simple Sexy podcast is brought to you by KO Body Care. By now, you guys know I'm all about simple wellness habits. And the most important habit, in my opinion, is eating lots of fruits and veggies to boost your immunity and feel energized and youthful. The only problem, if you're as busy as I am, you're probably eating a lot of meals on the run. So I'm going to fill you in on my favorite hack. KO Body Care's clean, plant-based supplements. As the founder and CEO of KO Body Care, we spent so long getting these formulas perfect, and our customers are just as obsessed with them as I am. Our bestseller right now is our Vital Green Superfood Powder Drink Mix. Every scoop contains 25 superfoods that optimize your cellular health and performance. There's organic greens, antioxidant-rich berries, curcumin and immune complex, and so much more. Unlike most green powders, this one doesn't taste like grass, guys. It's got a sweet berry flavor that even my kids love. Seriously, my oldest asks for it every day. Vital Green Superfood Powder is a staple in my pantry and in the KO collection, and when you try it, you'll know why. Order yours today at kobodycare.com and make sure to use your special code KISS20 for 20% off your first purchase. What do you have to focus on, and how do you create the energy to be there for those clients and to start to create that energy work and help them open up?
So before the session, I'll always have a little conversation with the person. But one of the things that I've think has come on as a something that I've always had within me is I can kind of do a scan of somebody and see what's going on a little bit, and I can hone in on that and be like, what is it you want to address today? Do you want this to be more of a relaxing experience? Do you want to feel much lighter, and do you want to release some stuff? And I think every experience, every time someone's going to do this is going to be a different experience energetically. And it just really comes down to like, what is that person needing? And I always will do a little bit of talk therapy in the beginning, see what's going on. If someone's like, I don't know what I need, which happens too, that's just a opportunity for us to go in and just do a scan of your own awareness of what's going on in your body. And sometimes we just need, and you obviously have so much experience in this too, with the mind-body connection through working out and things like that. Like maybe sometimes we just need to be aware of our body. Like, oh, like I didn't realize like I'm having lower back pain. So it can be something as simple as that, as, and deciding on what is it that you want the focus to be during a session.
Is it ever anything you ever use on your kiddos too?
Yeah, and I actually teach meditation to both the kids at their schools once a week. I go in and teach different breathing techniques for the kids. And I think at
Can
that
you
young
please create a course for parents?
Oh my gosh, I love that.
I'm serious. Yeah, that would be great.
Fun.
Everybody comment in the feed of this podcast if you want a a course from Nousha on how to teach your kids, calmness and meditation. I teach
Yeah,
breathing to mine, but I want more.
and that's how it starts off, is just connecting to breath. Like when they're
Mhm,
having the big feelings, how do we remind ourselves that it's just connecting to the breath that can calm
mhm.
the big feelings down? Because the mind and the chatters can be overwhelming, especially for a little person and in a little body who's being controlled by all the other people on the outside. So it's like
Aw.
the one thing that they can have control of is their breath. And when we can do that and give them those tools, it can be so rewarding for the nervous system. But for me, what I'm doing with the little kids is doing a lot of visualization stuff, and I find that seems to it's fascinating. Like, me and their teachers are always laughing because you see these little kids being like, and it is so it's so oddly satisfying. I'm like,
I was gonna
why
say it's
does
so
this?
uplifting. It's like connecting to our little selves basically and seeing that in them, I think, our really natural
Yeah.
self
And also,
instead of.
yeah, and then the other thing that's really cool is like one of the visualizations that I'll do with the kids is I'll have them all hold a crystal. And I'll say, when you have the crystal, this is your quiet crystal, and I want you to think of someone you love. And what is fascinating, so a
Aw.
lot of the 5-year-olds, a lot of them will say, my mommies, my daddies, and then a lot of them will think about someone who's passed along. And we forget that these little babies, these little kids, 5-year-olds, when they lose a dog, when they lose an animal, when they lose a grandparent, it affects them, and they think about it as a little child, but not always talking about it because they're not always given that opportunity to vocalize that with a prompt.
Mhm.
So when they speak about those things, I feel like that energetically allows those things to leave the body and allows them to feel heard and seen, and then that allows us as young humans to not carry those little things energetically along with us as we
Oh,
age.
that's so beautiful, I could cry.
Aw.
Honestly, because we really do. I think the older that I get or the more in tune I'm getting, whatever's happening energetically, I feel like I'm getting more and more in tune with those things that I buried over the years.
Mhm.
And, um, wish I had had these tools at a younger age. And kind of leads me to my next question, which you've answered a little bit, but like, what can people do who don't have you available to them, or maybe don't know where to start, like to do some Reiki or to do some of this energetic healing at home? Like, how can we even incorporate this? Because I feel like some people don't understand what meditation is even. And this is a bit like, this is like an active part, the energy work that you're saying, whether it's holding something or your breath work, to get into that mind state. So, what can a
Well, there's
novice do to
there's a
help?
there's a couple things actually. What I'm happy to do after is just do a quick little body scan with you and I live, so if the person who's listening can even close their eyes and do that with us, even a 3-minute body scan, we can do that. But the other thing at home, Kelsey Patel has a Reiki 1 certification you can do online.
Mhm.
And another dear friend, Heather Martin, she teaches Reiki 1 online, and it allows you to have a community of like-minded people who are interested in healing. And sometimes that's all you need. You just need the support of other people to see you and hear you and witness you, wanting to make the effort to heal. And that's really the most beautiful supportive thing that you can do for yourself. That's the first seed to be planted. Do you want to heal? Do you want to put in that work? Because healing is painful sometimes, to address things that we haven't addressed for a long time, but the end outcome of it is being more alive and seeing things a little bit differently, and it can be so beautiful. It can be a hard but beautiful road. And I mean, for me to think that people are being more aware and more open to that is beautiful, and beautiful for me to think about my children having access to that.
Mm-hmm. I think it's so true because having once I don't know where I would be if I hadn't moved to Los Angeles, because I feel like once I moved here, and it's something that you have to do yourself, but the right people were brought into my life, like and
Hmm.
it's like it just continued. It builds more and more of this positive energy, bringing the people that you want in your life, that you need, that continue to uplift you. And I think um, continue to open your heart and lead you in the right direction, just with the
Just with the
energy,
minds,
which
oh my
the
gosh, yeah.
vibes. Yes. Uh-huh. And so
That's my favorite thing to watch, is like when people start to become aware of that, like the universe shows up people into your path and you're like,
yes.
it's and when it happens, you're just like in awe of it. You're like, oh, okay, this is more than like synchronicity. This is more than all of that. And
I believe it prepares you. It's almost like it prepares it in your heart, and I've worked on just having this patience, like, "Oh, something's about to happen," like, I dream of my body care brand before, but I was, like, patient, like, everything has to line up, or this podcast or learning more, and then everything lines up. Sometimes it's 2 weeks and sometimes it's 6 years, you never know, but when it hits you, when the timing is so perfect because somebody or something has been brought into your life to
yeah, and
fulfill
it
those
flows
kind of that
it
journey.
for sure, and it flows in just naturally. And I think the other part of my journey specifically is detaching a lot of expectations around time.
Mhm.
And just to trust that everything is in divine timing. Everything is in divine timing, and sometimes we just need to hear that and be reminded of that, and then you kind of let go of the stickiness to time.
Mhm, and what people's expectations. I mean, just having a baby, almost hitting 40, and we're actually thinking about another one, I'm like, "Whatever. Whatever the world universe wants to give me, like, it's okay."
Wow, that would
You
be
know?
amazing. Yeah,
A
yeah.
third,
I
I
mean,
don't know, Nusha, but we'll see. I'm
well, the
leaving it
house
to
I
the
have,
universe.
exactly, and like it all. It's a whole nother level. Having a third. I have two friends that have three babies now, and I was just
Good
holding the
luck.
baby. I'm sniffing the
That needs
baby.
some
I'm like,
energy work.
I need the sniff of
I
the baby.
know.
Should we do one
It's the
little
best.
body scan before we
Sure,
move
if you'd
on?
like to. Yeah, I would love to.
Okay, so if anyone who is listening, we can have you close your eyes. We can sit here together and taking a moment of mindfulness. If you're sitting down on a chair, the best way to do it is you can become aware of your seat and take a nice deep breath in, breathing in deeply, letting the chest expand, letting the belly expand, breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, and hold. And then you can do an audible breath out. And another deep inhale, fill the breath up, breathing in through the nostrils, visualizing that breath moving through the space between the eyebrows, through the throat, into the heart, expanding the heart, and into the belly. Coming up with an intention, whether it is to have a beautiful day, to send love to self, send love to others, to expand creativity, to allow the flow of the universe to move through, in, and around you. And taking another deep inhale, allow the palms to face the sky to receive the benefits from universal energy in and around you. Imagining the heart slowing down, the mind. And taking one more deep inhale, visualizing this breath coming through the soles of the feet, through the ankles, the calves. And as you exhale, it moves through the knees, the thighs, meeting its way into the seat, the pelvic floor, your divine feminine energy. One more inhale, and as you exhale, sending love again to yourself, you can go through a little gratitude list. May your day be filled with so much love and positivity. And thank you for taking a moment to explore meditation, reiki, and energy work. Thank you. Mhm.
That was amazing. And I'm sure viewers out there are feeling the same way, that it's amazing how simple it is to connect when
So
someone else
simple.
is helping you do it. But
Yeah.
also, I mean, just to have experienced how I'm sitting, my full
Mhm.
body, which I wouldn't have experienced all day. Do you know?
Mhm.
Like just knowing that my legs were crossed, or feeling the energy of healing. Like I tore a calf the other day and I have a broken finger. So I was like imagining that healing energy just going, it's really just putting the effort, I believe, and seeing that in there, and taking the deep breath, slowing your heart rate. Right
Yeah.
before this podcast started, I spilled chai tea latte one way, jumped up, spilled water the other way. So it's been a hectic morning for both of us.
Yeah,
And
yeah, just to
just
center
to
in.
restart, center in. I love that. That was so beautiful. And I hope that our viewers can put this one on repeat.
Oh, thank you
That little
so
thing,
much.
use it every morning. Yes. Well, not to veer away from all the healing, but I do want to touch upon your expertise too in beauty a little bit, in the beauty treatments. And you have a product called Reset, which I absolutely love myself so much. And I want you to tell a little bit, maybe any amazing treatments that you guys are performing in your medical offices, and how you like to use the reset with that kind of stuff, because there's a yin and there's a yang. We like
I
beauty treatments on this podcast too.
Oh, yeah, trust me,
But
I love some good
they work the best when you're beautiful on the inside and calm and focused too.
Of course. So right now I have another office in Beverly Hills, and I work with two wonderful plastic surgeons, Dr. Danyapur and Dr. Lakey. And what I often refer my clients to do, especially after babies, because the elasticity changes in the skin, unfortunately. Uh,
Wah,
we do
wah.
need to address that, because when we gain even like, between that 20 to 40 pounds after pregnancy, or if we do fluctuate, the elasticity starts to change in the skin in our 30s. It's just inevitable. So, what I do like to refer people to do is something called Morpheus. And right now, I am fully loving this laser treatment. There is minimal downtime. It's more the actual treatment is a little bit sore, but it heats up the skin, and it's doing some superficial microneedling with some of that heating of the skin. So it's going to contract the skin, and it's going to help tighten up the jawline. That was the number one thing I did after my pregnancy. And the skin is a little bit raw and tender after, but you can totally go to work the next day. And it just continuously gets better over the course of a month as the skin and the cells are turning over. And I used the reset the day that I get the treatment done, and I continue using it after, because there's arnica, there's bromelain, there's vitamin C, and there's MCT oil in this actual oil. So it's really helpful in speeding up the recovery process for any laser treatment, any peel treatment. But specifically with Morpheus, you do 3 treatments of that over the course of 3 to 4 months. And the amount of jaw tightening, neck tightening, and facial tightening is pretty amazing for having it be a minimally invasive laser.
I've actually done just one of the treatments, and I agree, because that's my, one main area where I'm really like losing elasticity in my late 30s, early 40s. And I agree with you. It was so great, and to not have to go under a knife, not that I'm there yet anyway, but I think it really
Yeah.
helps to prevent it for even longer. And I will say, like the bromelain, the arnica, this product is great for treatment, great for redness. I think if you have like a gentle rosacea like I have, I love to use it anyway. I just found out I had the broken finger, but I've had it for like over a month.
I'm
But
sorry.
I was like, I know, I was waiting for it to heal, but I've been putting your product on it along with our KO CBD, and it
I
has
love
helped
that.
like immediately. I was like, why didn't I start this a month ago? Just not thinking about it, for the pain and the tenderness. And you just have to
And
naturally
the
let it heal for right
inflammation.
now. Yeah, for
Mhm.
the inflammation. So I feel like your reset product literally is like a reset. It can be used in so many different ways. Um,
Yeah, I
Absolutely
love it
love.
also for a moment of mindfulness too. I called it the reset. So when people apply it on the face or at the body, I mean, you can use it on the lower back because of there's CBD in it. Also, and you just have a moment to set a mantra for your day, set an intention, or if it's midday and you're just flustered, like this is your moment to reset. Inhale all the essential oils that are in the product and give yourself a moment.
Yeah, I love that. And I hope, We actually have a little special discount code for you guys if you're interested. The website is rejuvenatewithnousha.com, and it'll be, in the verbiage, the spelling. Oh, and it's right up here on our video too. But the discount code is KISS15, KISS, like keep it simple, sexy, 15 for 15% off. And I hope that you guys can use it and really reconnect to this podcast and those moments of just taking those deep breaths and feeling that healing energy and resetting at the same time. Where is mine? All right, so let's wrap up for today. We always do a speed round, and I would love to know for the speed round question, what is your favorite morning ritual and what is your favorite evening ritual? Something you can't live without.
Morning ritual, because I have been doing a lot of, like, for me, it's going on a walk. Like, the mornings for me are actually kind of chaotic because it's just the kids getting ready for school. So I usually will drop off my son now to preschool, and then I'll go do a little 10-minute walk, and then I'll try to just dive into work stuff. So that's a huge thing for me. I've just recently switched into doing a little bit more teas than coffee because I was getting a little bit too acidic in the tummy. So tea in the
Me
morning.
too.
Yep. It's a bummer because I did love my coffee, but I've switched to a little green tea. And then the evening is where I really go and dive deep into my rituals, which is a bath with Epsom salts, lighting a candle, letting go of the day, and really just finding gratitude.
I love this. We can all take so much advice from you for clearing out our day and resetting. Thank you so much for being with us, Nousha, and uplifting us all and teaching us, where we can really truly find our beauty and our healing too. It comes from within.
Oh, Christine, thank you for having me. You're such a light, and I'm so grateful you're spreading all this word around. It's needed.
Thank you. Well, thank you all for joining us today, too, on Keep It Simple Sexy. Follow Nousha on Instagram at Rejuvenate with Nousha. And you can book a treatment with her or find her products on rejuvenatewithnousha.com with that special discount, KISS15 for 15% off. Go grab it now for your reset. And make sure to comment in the feed if you've loved today's guest and maybe it's time to upgrade your facial, one that may actually change your life. Thanks for listening. Make sure you're subscribed and feel free to share this with a friend or family who needs to hear it. Have questions you need answered? Text me at 1-310-361-8697. Make sure you're following me on social at Christine Bullock, and have a healthy, happy week. See you next time.